you. Yeah, so the next step is download the Hadoop compressed file, the software. I'll downloading into the softwares folders. So where you can download anywhere, just you need to put the path based on where you extract your the Hadoop binary file. So this is downloaded here. Again, you can extract using a tar command -xv -zdf. Okay, so this is done. So if you just look at the Hadoop folder, you will see there is a bin folder which generally has your command line utilities. Okay, so I was talking about SDFS command line utility to interact with your SDFS storage, and I was also talking about the Yarn client, which is used to submit your MapReduce job. This is the Yarn client. So this will we will be using these things. Okay, and there is one more directory called sbin. You see, there is a one more directory called sbin, which generally has a shell script to start a respective or maybe the start set of process for SDFS and Yarn. Okay, so example, there is a process called the script called. Are you seeing this? The text is visible, or you want to uh, maximize it?
It's visible.
Visible is it? Okay. So let me change this. Okay. Okay. Now, the two important directories bin and sbin, and there is one more directory called etc, and you will have Hadoop inside subdirectory. You see, these are the some of the files, configuration files. The Hadoop will make use of it for configuring your processes like name node process, data node process, and the inside for resource manager process, for node manager. All the processes make use of this configuration file for to so basically you for each process, what is the respective configuration you set on these files will be taken care. So now we'll be for our next job is to go to this directory and it changes a few files to set up name node, data node, and the secondary name node, and then resource manager, everything. So we'll go one by one. Now before I go to that, so there are a set of to access our the command line utilities, right? So command line utilities are to start the scripts from anywhere from your terminal, any location from terminal. You can add these environment variables and specify your the Hadoop extracted folder so that you can access those command line utilities from anywhere from your terminal. So for that, I'll just how we added a Hadoop home, sorry, Java home to the bash RC file. Similarly, we'll add this also. So I'll just copy this set of export commands. I'll paste it on the bash RC file. So again, I'll say nano that use the tilde symbol, which actually represents the home folder. I'll say bash RC. So I'll come to the bottom of the file I'll paste this, right? Again, I'll say Control O, enter, saved, Control X, I just came out. Now you can also refresh this. Source, and you can verify the Hadoop version which has till we are not configured any process, but you can just check the version which we extracted. Basically, we are using Hadoop 3.2.1. This is done. Now we'll go back to the set of we'll modify set of configuration uh, to set up other processes. First is there is a file called Hadoop env.sh. Just we'll go to this location. It's basically a etc Hadoop. etc Hadoop location, you'll have all the configuration files. You see there is a file called Hadoop env.sh. Open this file. Here you need to specify the Java home. Okay, I'll place it here. Okay, I will save this. Control Control O to write and Control X to come out. Now the next step is Hadoop manages some of the metadata in the temporary directory. Okay, so we need to create a one directory. Okay, for to manage some metadatas. Okay, not the name node and data node. It's just for other temporary things. Okay, so we'll create a one directory in our local Linux machine. Okay, so I will use this path. So inside my software, I'll create a one directory called Hadoop data, and I will create this. So this is got created. Now, so there is a file called core site.xml. Okay, there is core.xml, which actually going to in this file we are going to say uh, name node is see basically name node is on which port number the name node is going to be configured. Okay, so I'm just saying the name node will be configured on the port number 9000. So this port you can give any port which is an open port, so that whenever you want to connect to the name node, you can connect using this port number. And the host name is I'm just giving localhost because it's a single machine or the local machine setup. So if you are doing it in any other node, you just have to give that IP address. I'll copy. So if you open that file core site.xml, I'll say nano core site.xml. You will see one root. So these are like kind of metadata tags. This is XML file, right? So XML file will have a tags. So it will have a root tag as configuration. Inside configuration tag, you can place set of property tags. Okay, so when this Hadoop is going to configure Hadoop, to configure name node, it will go and read all this configuration and set up the process based on the what you set it here. Okay, so there are many configurations available for in this core-sided XML. There are templates available internet. You can just we can explore whenever we need it. Okay, this fs.dfs default DFS nothing but uh, which port you are actually configuring your name node. So I'll just save this. And then I'll actually, so, okay, so I'm going to create a two directory. One is for name node, another is for data node. Now, why this directory is needed? I told you uh, the work of name node is to capture the metadata about the files which are getting stored in the SDFS. So those metadata it has to store somewhere, right? Those for that you need to provide on a directory on which it's going to store the metadata. And this metadata will be available in memory. Like whenever you start your name node process, so it load all the metadata stored on this location into memory so that it will serve your the file related requests. And similarly, you need to create one directory for data node because the data node is the one which actually stores your data in the form of blocks. So in this location, you will see the blocks are getting stored. So when you do multi-node setup, similarly you need to only one directory, one node you will be setting up at least for if you have single master node, you will have one name node being set up in one node, and all the slave nodes you need to create this directory so that all blocks will be stored on those machines. I will create these directories. So this is for name node and this is for data node. So once this is created, then you set the ownership permission for this user using the chown command. Now, so once we complete the core site.xml, now the next step is to configure uh, SDFS site.xml. Here we need to instruct two properties, okay, which is DFS distributed file system dot name node dot name directories. Basically, we have to instruct the framework where the name node metadata has to be stored. So we created the directory. Now we have to now we are instructing this framework to read. Framework will refer this property file, and for property file we are setting this for that property we are setting this value so that this location is being used for storing the name node metadata. And similarly for data node, to refer the data node directory, we have to use this property and set this value. And I told you about replication, right? To provide fault tolerance. So the Hadoop framework stores your blocks into a few more copies so that whenever some network failure happens on particular node, so it takes from a copy from the other nodes. To support that, so there is a replication factor being used. So that is being used using this property DFS dot replication. For now, I'm just giving one because this is a single node setup. So in multi-node setup, generally you use three. Now I'll just copy this file into this SDFS site.xml and I'll save this. Nano SDFS site.xml and paste it here. Control O, save, Control X come out. Now this is run. Now, so till Hadoop 1 version, there was no, I'm sorry. Till Hadoop version 1, there was no usage of yarn. So once Hadoop 2 is introduced, so we have to instruct the MapReduce framework to use the yarn. So for MapReduce, there is a separate separate file called mapred-site.xml. Now you have to go and instruct the framework to use yarn. So you have to modify this file. So all these are basically will be done. So this is a learning purpose. We are doing on by our own. Generally, all this will be done by the Hadoop administrate people. And also generally people use some cluster managers to softwares to install Hadoop. Like open source one is Apache Hambari. There is a cluster manager uh, tool where you can actually set up your cluster that will be used. If different Hadoop distribution has different cluster setup tools. Okay, so in this file, what we are updating this property. Then finally, we'll come to this the onsite.xml. So here we need to set few properties, and this one of the property where uh, you can actually set name node process and the resource manager process had a web UIs. Okay, so web UIs means it's kind of dashboard where you can just go and monitor your jobs in the resource manager. Similarly, there is a web UI for name node where you can go and just explore your files which is stored in HDFS. Okay. So to configure on which port the resource manager web address has to be hosted, I have to provide this. So if you even if you don't provide this port, it will use the default port 8088. Okay. So I'm just using. Suppose if you 8088 used by some other port, if you want to modify it, you can modify using this property. And I'll just come to this file. I'll put this entry. Okay, save this. We almost coming to the closer of completing this installation. So now finally, I'll just this location, right? This is the software path where I put all my software. I'll just put again set the ownership for this user. I'll just go to the home directory. Now what you need to do is you need to format your name node. Okay, so first time you need to format. So whenever you format, just make sure you have to handle this command very carefully. Uh, because when you format, the entire data will be wiped off from your name node. So this is a one-time activity. Um, so you have to use it very carefully when you use it. Just a minute. So I'll run this command. SDFS name node -format. So when you run this, it is going to format your name node. And if here it says the name node is successfully formatted. If you see this machine, then everything is set up. The name node is at least set up properly. Now our next step is to start our processes like SDFS related process and YARN related process. So as I told you earlier, to start name node and data node and secondary name node, we can use the script called start-dfs.sh. So I'll just say start dfs.sh. So it is going to start the name node, data nodes. It is also will start the secondary name node. Okay. So if you can verify whether these processes are running by using a command called JPS. Okay, so basically this utility is used to just check some of the Java process running on this machine. So you see there's a name node, data node, and secondary name node is running. Now similarly, we need to start the yarn resource, yarn related process. You can run using the start hyphen yarn.sh. So which is going to start resource manager and node managers. Okay, so I can access the web UIs like 192.68.6, right? And the default port number for the name node web UI is 98, I think 6070, 9870, right? Uh, uh, See, there is two type of ports. One is the RPC port, like using on which you connect to the particular process to communicate through program, right? So that is the RPC port. That is 9000. When we set the in core site.xml, we set name node port number is 9000. That's what it shows here. This 9870 is just a web port. This application to be run on the server, it is using this web port, which is this is also this default port number 9870, and it says your some statistics about uh, so your node. Okay, so I allocate to for this VM 50 GB. So it was saying the config capacity this and non-use div space is this. All these things are says. Okay, now we'll just if you want to look at the directories and files inside your name node, there is an option called utilities browse from file system. Sorry, browse the file system, and it will show you the directories inside your. So slash is basically a root directory in your HDFS. So right now there is no directory inside my HDFS, right? And there is similarly there is one more web UI called for an resource manager, which is the 8088. It is not opening. So basically, I don't know. I have some problem opening the resource manager web UI from Linux, sorry Windows, but somehow it is opening here. I don't know why. I probably have to just explore that or maybe debug that. I'll just open it here and show you. I don't know, all these favorites. Basically localhost 8088. So this is the resource manager's web UI. You can just you can so once you run your job, it will list you all the jobs which are running, which are finished. Everything will be shown here. Okay, I allocate I think 8 GB for this RAM. So it shows 8 GB RAM. Okay, so this is the resource manager BI. Now, okay, so now name no all the um, HDFS related process are running, resource manager process are running. Now we can start using our the command line utilities, or even you can write a program and interact with all the things. Now I'll just try a few the SDFS commands, so which we were discussing yesterday. So SDFS, DFS, if you use -ls and slash, it's going to show you the root directory structure. So there is nothing here. So that's what we saw in the when you use WebUI also. I'll try to create one directory. Okay, so I'll just put I'll use mkdir, and I can just say data here. So and again, if you run the ls command, you can see that data is created here. Now if you look at not here, you can also go and check it here, right? So if you now look at your the metadata directories which we specified, which is softwares and we were one for name node, and you see there is a current folders. Okay, so uh, I was talking about the name node stores your metadata in a local file, right? So it stores in this location. Okay, so if so this is for just for information how. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, because we need to install it all many things, so that if you stop here, that will be good for us. Because we need to install it, and if any issues will get, we need to resolve it for
Yes,
installation
yes.
about.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm just I'll just try few SDFS commands, and we'll wrap up today's session, so that you do the installation, and once you come back tomorrow, we'll continue that. Yes, I'm fine with that.
okay. Yeah. One more thing, if you stuck at anywhere in the installation, what is your feasible time to help us?
No, you can type. You can send me any message. Anytime you can send a message. I am available.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I will just add other people's also to the group, WhatsApp group
Yeah.
created. Okay, you can
Okay.
post your queries there. Okay, so I will respond immediately. That's how we'll connect.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this location for the name node uses this location for storing the metadata. And if you look at the data node one, I think right now we did not place any data, so you will not see any blocks. So tomorrow we'll try to create file, and we'll upload a file, and we'll check how these files are managed. Okay, this is just for information. That's just how internally it stores. As a developer, we might interested on how do you store our data into SDFS, and how do you process those will be our more work. This is for you to just aware of these things internally, so that any issue comes while storing into SDFS or processing, it will easy for you to just debug it. Okay, so with that I can actually stop here. Please let me know if you have any questions. We can discuss this. Okay, so all right, then we can actually, if you don't have any question, we can wrap up this session. We'll see tomorrow morning at same time, 8:30.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye. Have a good day.